Texas rig, Ned rig, run your little O-ring up there, like your Okeechobee Craw, casting it under docks. Throw this inside your bag, a little small size. Absolutely amazing around here. What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. We got a good old-fashioned unboxing. Picked up some things that are brand new to the market. I re-upped on some old favorites. And the one I'm most excited about, I got some new glasses. You might notice these look a little different. We got some glasses from Hobie Eyewear. So I first saw Jeff and Paul stop at the booth at iCAST, and I was like, dude, that is a great idea because I wear prescription glasses. My far depth perception is awful at night when I don't have them, and I can't read. It's all blurry. So got double issues both ways. I have one lazy, messed up eye. You can tell that doesn't quite work right. Sometimes I go out with my other regular glasses on. I've got Oakley's, like sunglasses that are prescription, but I often leave my other regular glasses in the truck. So once it gets dark, you know, at night, I take those off and I'm still fishing. I can't really see a damn thing. It's all kind of blurry out there. So got these. These are called the Duos. They have a couple different frame sizes. I got kind of the middle one. I've had some of those glasses before that take up half your freaking head, and I hate it. So these are kind of midway through. I forget what they are. I'll leave them linked below. No affiliation with them. You know, I bought these myself. They didn't send them or anything. And check this out. This is the cool part of it. So for the glasses and two different pair of sunglasses, these clip on, plus I got a little holder thing that had a sale. I think I was in at like $240 total. So the cool part is, all you do, I have to pull these down a little bit. All you do is clip that little thing over it and they're magnetized. So these magnet hold on there. Plus there's just like a little tiny clip in the middle. And you've got sunglasses. So far, I really like it. I'm gonna have to get out and see what they're like on the water, but the reason I got two different ones is because these are the green lens with the brown inside, the amber inside, which like magnifies greens and stuff 3D in the water. And I also got these, the blue lenses, which inside are like a gray. These are like my normal sunglasses for everyday wear where there's just a little bit of sun. I think regular, it comes with one pair of sunglasses. So if I were to just get the glasses and one pair of sunglasses, it was like $197. So I don't know, I'll have to do some testing, but just my regular sunglasses or my regular glasses, I think are like $200-ish. Okay, enough of that baloney. Let's get on to the baits. First off, we've got some brand new baits from Exzon. So they came out with a stealth series. I think it was just these three. I don't think I missed any. This one is the 2.75 inch scented stealth creature, and this color is tilapia. I just grabbed a couple colors in each to test them, see what we think of them, if they're any good or not. Pull these little appendages off here, and it's like a little baby brush hog. Reminds me of like the man bear pig from Reaction Innovations, one you really don't ever hear people talk about, but that's an excellent little like kind of finessey flipping Texas rig bait. That's what they've got here, 2.75 inches. You can see compared to a Debo finger, just a little tad shorter. But yeah, an interesting kind of looking little, like I said, brush hog really looking deal. Flip this around on BFS. It could just be like a little, you know, finesse Texas rig. Flip this around. Interesting little bait. I'm excited to give that a throw. And it's just a regular plastic, so this is not like your Elaztechy Z-Man type stuff. Also picked up one of those in their dark June bug color. Next is the 2.5 inch scented stealth craw. And this one comes in my favorite, black and blue green pumpkin laminate. If I could only pick one color for like most pitching, flipping, jig type trailers, it would be this, you know, unless I'm throwing like a white, you know, type color or something. For just an all around like flipping Texas rig, this color is it. Black and blue on one side, you flip it over, that laminate is a green pumpkin. I think it just gives a good contrast, you know, when you're hopping this around. Pretty, you know, regular, nothing too insane looking craw profile, but it is a really nice compact looking craw. And it's not one of those where it's like, it's lifelike enough, but it's not insanely 3D lifelike where it has no movement here. You can see those claws. I believe they float. It said small bait, big result, BFS application, Texas rig or Ned rig is what they say on the back there. And they do kind of show you the ways to rig it. That's always helpful. Oh yeah, they are scent impregnated. And there you can see it does have the floating claws. I know some people are absolutely crazy about that. They think it makes all the difference. I feel like I've used plastics before and it made no difference. I don't know. But it does have like the little legs there. They're going to move in the water. Really good looking profile, to be honest. Little finesse jig trailer or Texas rig, Ned rig. I think that'll be a hot little bait. Also got that one in their big limit color, which is kind of like a watermelon-y light green pumpkin, I guess, with gold, silverish flake in there. And then the belly of it is this purplish pink. I really like the laminates where the top is a different color than the bottom. Those are pretty cool. Last up in the lineup is the 2.75 inch Stealth Minnow. So this is, of course, all the rage now. People doing the hover rig type stuff. You could rig this up on like a little finesse hover rig. Otherwise, I'm thinking drop shot, Could go on like a little finesse underspin. Got a whole bunch of different applications you could kind of run this on, but it does say like this is kind of their BFS, stealthy, small bait, big results. You know, really trying to jump in and tap into that market of the BFS stuff, which continues to grow. And yes, I've got a couple things because it has been kind of fun to kind of switch up back and forth to that. So crappie, wiper, bass, pretty much anything elite, some little minnow imitation. So this color was the watermelon shad, kind of like a baby bass watermelon top with a pearly white belly. Then I also got the Pro Blue Pearl, kind of that bluish gray back. Goes into a pearl like belly with a little bit of that kind of reddish, pinkish highlight to it. Good natural color, kind of like a minnow, regular minnow color. So those are pretty cool. All of those from Exzon, their new smaller kind of BFS line. Sticking with new plastics, another fun one from Big Bite Baits. This is their 7-inch Nico-Rama. So this is one that I forget who it was they worked with to design it. One he made specifically with them for Nico rigging. You can see here where that, you know, the smooth part of the worm normally is. They've got 2 indentations where you just run your little O-ring up there. The O-ring sits in that spot to keep it held there. Put your hook in there for the Nico rig. You would put your weight in the nose there. That's how your Nico rig works. You've got one there and one here just to give it a little bit different look depending on how you're fishing it. But 7-inch worm. On the worm body part, it does have a flat bottom. You can see that there. And then as it goes back to the tail, kind of skinnies up and then has like a bulbous spot there. But the Nico rig is something I've been putting more work in. You're going to see a video coming up soon where I was throwing that. It seemed to be the deal for the day. But yeah, just a different look on that. I grabbed a couple of these to try. This one in the green pumpkin. And then also one, this looked a lot darker in pictures, but they call it Matte Morning Dawn. Very bluish, very pinkish. I really don't love that color. I'll probably take like a green pumpkin and my Spike It marker and color a lot of that blue. Be kind of like my bootleg version of Tequila Sunrise, I guess. But there we go. Give that a try. If you're into the Nico rig, might be one to pick up if you like that profile length. You know, it's kind of similar to a trick worm if you didn't have these, but yeah, we'll see. All right, next up from a company that I honestly haven't used much of their stuff. This is G-Rat Baits. I've got one of their swim baits, glide baits, Pistol Pete, something like that. Had follows on it. Didn't catch anything on it because I suck with swim baits, but they've been putting out a few different lures. This is the Dixie Flip. So there's 2 different sizes, 4 3/4 inch and 3.5 inch. These were a request from Brando. I put in an order, asked if he wanted anything, and he wanted to try these. And when I first saw these, they remind me of the Zoom. I think it was the Z Craw, right? The front top of it looks just like that on the Z Craw, exactly. Anyway, that's what this reminded me of. These little ridges over here that should catch water, might even kind of throw bubbles out as it sinks. Then it's got these 2 legs, kind of in like a long triangle shape. They come to points here. Those also have ridges on them here, so I would guess that they kick. I don't know how that'll look in the water than just the 2 antennae here. To give it a pretty, you know, normal, not anything too insane crawfish profile there. So the bigger size and then the smaller. I got the black and blue and these larger ones, and then this is green pumpkin blue. So really this is like your Okeechobee Craw, green pumpkin top, and all that blue sapphire flake on the belly of it. But there's the size difference of the 2. You can see there definitely is a bulky size difference between them. But yeah, kind of a cool thing. Throw them as a Texas rig, and then when the top of it, you know, rips up, just cut this baby in half and throw it on as a jig trailer. We'll see how those do. Let's see, one of the more interesting baits I saw from iCAST, going back to Big Bite Baits, the BSE, the best skipper ever. So this is, I believe they did in collaboration with Nick, the Informative Fisherman. I had him on a live, gosh, what's that been, a couple years ago? But they worked with him. I think he works at Savage Gear, something like that. But anyway, they worked with him to create this thing, and it's made just for skipping. It looks like a big casting weight, and I forget how heavy this is. I want to say like 7/8, does it say? 2.5 inches long. This is the 1099 color, which is the green pumpkin, black and blue laminate. Notice I like those laminates. You rig the hook here so your round bit would come down this way, come up. So when you cast it, that bulbous end is going to cast out like a casting plug, like this. That's the illustration there for you. I know, super high-techy. I took and just cut kind of a hole in this because I feel like the hookup ratio is not going to be great. Even with a big EWG hook, that's a ton of plastic in the way. So the top does come with a little slit where your hook would lay, but I took the belly of this, kind of like I would do on a tube, and just slit that up like your Fluke and stuff would have. I think that's going to help. I haven't thrown it yet, so maybe the hookup ratio is great, but just from testing other baits, anytime you get this much plastic in the way, there's usually a slight hookup issue. So that'd be my only thought, is if they put a slit in that, I think it would help. But yeah, I want to give these a throw. casting it under docks, under overhangs, under wood, really just getting this thing anywhere else, anywhere that everybody else is not, always helps. And I think when it falls, it just kind of falls horizontally, and these legs just have a little bit of struggling motion on the side. So there we go. Interesting little bait. Also got this bait in the politician color. I don't know what the story is behind that, but we've got the like watermelon, green pumpkin, red flake with a June bug belly. Look at that purple. Yes, sir. And then if you're sight fishing them or you're trying to mimic maybe some dying shad or bait fish or something, just your all pearl white. Cool little bait. Okay, I also picked up a couple things to go together. I want to try the whole hover rig thing, right? I'm new to the whole deal. I've got a couple baits. I want to try it. This is one, I think it was Taku from the pro, bass fishing series, Japanese angler, has been doing really well. I believe this is the powder that he is using, if he's the right one. But anyway, it's this powder. It's supposed to be a water-soluble, sticky powder that honestly doesn't smell bad at all. Kind of smells like some sort of bakery item. Throw this inside your bag, it powders it all up. It's supposed to have like a sticky release to it. You can re-dip it, and it's not like some of these oil-based things where as soon as you dip them, they just oil spill off. Now I'm not... What do you think? Are we doing okay? Doing the... Oh, you gonna sit down? What a good boy. He had to come down and investigate since he heard me talking. But anyway, that's what I'm going to try this for. Now it can be used for anything. I just know that, with the whole hover rig thing, I thought I need all the help I can get because I'm not a forward-facing sonar guy. Not that I wouldn't use it. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't have the dough for that. But I thought, let's give it a try. So I got some of these. These are supposed to be like Zoom's knockoff version of, I forget who it is, OSP or Optima. I don't know. Somebody that came out with one of these Fluke style baits with the wings on it. This is the Zoom winged Fluke. So it looks like your normal Fluke, a little small size. It's got these two little wings on it here. You can see they're kind of at an angle. So it's supposed to help that side to side shake. That's the whole deal with the, the hover rig or mid-strolling. Cast down, you're just wobbling that, that tip, and the bait's kicking back and forth doing this roll. So we'll see how these do. I don't know. I'm pretty new to the whole technique, not really in my wheelhouse, but these are cool. I know those other ones have been hard to get a hold of, so I figured I'll get these, see what they're like. That color's the Biwako Wakasagi. I also got the Champagne Pepper Pearl, black flake, and like some bluish highlights, a little bit lighter color. And then the 5-inch winged silver shad. So I got one 4-inch, then a couple of these 5-inch. See how they do. I figured I'd point these out. These are not new. You have already seen me show these, but Mistl Baits dropped some new colors, and I wanted to give them a try. First off is the new little tiny, you can see they're just a tiny size. He's kind of got a little tilt to him there. The Micro D-Bomb. This is the Magic Craw swirl. So basically green pumpkin with a blue swirl throughout it. And we have those craws that have that blue on the claws around here. So I figured this is going to be a perfect color. This is kind of a kinked up one. I don't like that. But anyway, this will be a good color. I've got a video coming up where I threw this all day on a little free rig and absolutely crushed them. So this little thing is a lot of fun. I'm liking this little Micro D-Bomb. Also picked up that color in the regular D-Bomb. You can see it a little bit better there. That green pumpkin mixed in with that blue swirl throughout it. If you've never thrown a D-Bomb, one of the best flippin' beaver style baits out there. It's got these ridges on the body, these things kicking back. It's got a couple legs. Awesome little bait. They also came out with the tilapia color, which I wanted to try. This one has done quite well around here. It's really like a green pumpkin with blue, gold, silvery, like a pinkish purple flake in it. So just a good kind of green pumpkin with a whole bunch of flake. And in the sun, it's interesting how much those flakes do show up. Now, does it make a huge difference to the fish? I don't know. I just like the color. Kind of a bait nerd, so we'll give those a try. And I also grabbed a new color in the Chunky D. I think all these colors are in the Chunky D, the regular D-Bomb, and then I think a couple of those colors in that new Micro D-Bomb. This is the Chunky D. Y'all saw me throw in the Bruiser Flash black and blue version of this a couple videos back. But this one you can see, oh, you look at that purpley pink belly, good natural look. Can mimic a bait fish, can mimic, a little baby bluegill, which is fitting because this one they call Alabama bream. Bluegill, bream, up here we call them bluegill, down south, bream. Same looking thing, that sunfish, panfish looking deal. There we go. That's a great way to mimic that. And these little Chunky Ds are awesome if you've not tried them. Little compact Texas rig, or cut them off, put them as a jig trailer. All right, next up, not new. I think these came out last year. The Rapala Crush City stuff has been awesome. I've liked the Cleanup Craw and the Mayor the best. And I re-upped on these because I had only initially gotten a few packages. A lot of the colors were sold out and stuff, so I kind of just grabbed what they had. But now that they've got some back in stock, this little 3-inch and 4-inch, oh, these things are awesome. This on like a little underspin has been awesome. It's got a pretty aggressive kind of kicking back. It's got that side to side wobble. Really, really like that. So just wanted to kind of point that out, that if you're looking for kind of a new swim bait, this shad, you know, profile, it's got the flatter sides. Let me just take one out. The flatter sides like this, you can see it's got that belly that kind of comes down, just your traditional shad profile instead of something like the, you know, the Kitex with the rib body, you know, a real aggressive, long, wide kick in the back. This has got a good, you know, thump in the back, and it's got a little bit of a roll to it. Just a really good looking little bait. So that's why I wanted to point those out if you're on the fence or looking to try something new. I personally have really liked them. I think Rapala did a great job on the plastics. Overall, pretty durable, good action to them. And the colors are, that gizzard shad for around here is like spot on. Okay, new bait from Z-Man. Grabbed a few of these, couple different sizes. Let's see. Let's start with the 3.5 inch. This is the Shiner color. Talking about a color that works absolutely amazing around here. Shiner. Kills in the Midwest. So these are the new, what do they call them? Drop Kicker Z. Or Drop Kickers. That's for you, Chris. The Drop Kickers is a little paddle tail, but you notice when it comes down to the paddle tail, a little bit different than what you're used to. It's kind of this wedged, kind of club looking deal. And it's supposed to be a good subtle kick back there. So if you want something where maybe the fish are a little bit more finicky, of course it is Z-Man plastic, so it's super stretchy. They do last a long time, which is nice. But just kind of a whole different look to it. You know, something where if you're in pressured water, really clear water where you don't want, again, going back to that Kitec, something that's really waving. If the fish just aren't in that mood, something like this can be really great. Oftentimes I'll run like a Fluke or a straight tail bait on like an underspin or something like that, but that has no action. You know, it's just the Fluke sticking straight out with the blade under it. So with this, at least you've got kind of a subtle kind of kick, or I guess a kicker's type of tail on the back. So I got the larger size. I also grabbed some of those in the old copper truce for dirty water. And they come in the smaller 2.7 inch size. So I thought maybe for some drop shots, maybe for like some, you know, BFS type stuff. Doesn't have to be small ultralight. Something finessey if the fish are just kind of being picky, or real clear water. Smallmouth if you want a smaller bait. Try some of these. So this is the Goby, Green Pumpkin Goby, which is a really good color. Some purple and gold flake kind of in that green pumpkin. And then for clear water, I got some of the electric shad, kind of a gray top, pearly, you know, kind of translucent belly with some black flake through it. So I think these will be pretty cool to try. I can see a number of different things those would be used for. Also, not from Z-Man, but staying on that whole finesse, smaller, you know, tough bite type deal. I think these are going to be really good as well. This is from Yamamoto, the Yamamoto Covert Craw, 2.5 inch. This is the blue craw color. I shared these on Instagram. Somebody said, I can't believe you took it out of the bag and it didn't rip. So opposite from the Z-Man stuff, the Yamamoto, it gets a bad rap because it is a lot more salt impregnated in here, but it's a trade-off. Yamamoto has an action and a drop rate, a feel to the plastic that is extremely hard to mimic. People try to do it. Bait makers, if you talk to any bait makers trying to mimic an exact Senko, making your own, it's almost impossible. It's hard as heck. So yes, the durability is not as good on Yamamoto stuff, but the fall rate, the density, the feel to it is different. So sometimes that's what you want and need. You know, the faster wiggle of a Senko versus something like a Yum Dinger doesn't have that salt to it. It drops slower. Sometimes that's what you want. So kind of a different deal, but this thing on like a little free rig, on like a little finesse jig as a trailer, these claws I can see coming up, you know, giving a little good kick action. Just looks like a really good, yummy morsel. And when we have, what is that, June, July, somewhere in there when we have that full moon, we'll have the craws that just explode. I don't know if they have like a huge mating thing and they all just babies everywhere, what it is if it's drawn to the full moon, but they'll have all these little tiny crawfish that you see from the year. And it's absolutely insane how many of them you can find along the banks. But a small size like this, a lot of the craws around here are small, not like the big rusty craws that are giants. A lot of the real craws around here are just little tiny dudes. So I think this will mimic that really well. That blue craw around here, again, really good color. And then for the stained dirtier water, also picked that up black with blue flakes. So I'm excited to try those. I can see a number of things that we can do with these. All right, and last up, we got a couple hard baits and pieces of terminal. I should have called this huge soft plastic unboxing with notable mention of a couple hard baits. But anyway, if you're looking for a good wacky rig hook, Decoy and Ryugi, I think, make the best ones. These, they had these on sale, so I got the Ryugi ones. 1/0, they've got a light weed guard, which is like a fluorocarbon type of, I don't know, like a light jig, like on a, you know, a flipping jig. Some of that stuff, but it's real light. So around light cover, that kind of helps a little bit. If you're around wooden stuff, I would recommend these, the heavy guarded talisman, which is like 2 wires that stick out above the hook. They're not super, you know, heavy duty, but it's enough to keep you out of a lot of the brush. Now, if you're throwing in and around brush, you're going to get snagged. I'm sorry. There's nothing that keeps it 100%, but oftentimes to get those fish, you have to get in the nasty stuff. So if you're looking for a wacky rig hook or a Nico hook, these are really, really good. Okay, and the hard baits. Now, I don't know if this size is new. I don't remember this size. The Chug Bug. The Chug Bug is an old school topwater bait that you don't hear people talk about anymore. I think the only person that I ever see post about it, I need a knife here. I think the only person I've seen recently post about it is 10 Horse Monty. So shout out to Gabe. I don't know if he watches my channel still, but super nice guy. We've had him on, and he talks about the Chug Bug as being a secret lost, you know, topwater bait. I absolutely agree. This year, with me doing so well on the popper, this is one of those perfect hybrid lures. So you see that it's not a true like walking style bait. It's kind of stumpy, and I got the smaller size. They make a number of different sizes of these. I should have said. I specifically picked these up because these are the 2.5 inch 1/4 ounce. I didn't know they made this small size. So something for finesse for a pond, some of your small lakes where the big, huge, you know, 4.5 inch, you know, 5 inch, 6 inch topwater walking baits just don't get hit for you. Moving down to something like a Heddon, the Boyo, a little bit smaller topwater walking bait, or this. Look at the mouth on that. It's got a little cup mouth. So this is like a true hybrid between a walking bait and a popper. Great bait. Used to throw these back in the day. I don't know, like the 3.5 inch if they had one of those that size, but I didn't know they made this small size. So chrome for sunny day. You can see the belly is chrome. Might get a little bit of that flash of the chartreuse, but that's just really for me to see it on the top. Fish might get a little bit of that, but that's all right. And then a bone. This is not bone. This is pearl. Bleeding pearl is the color of this one. So white with some like bleeding color shad scales printed on the side there, but a white and a chrome. If you're only getting 2 topwater colors, that pretty much covers most of it. And then last up, because I have been doing the whole BFS thing, Dad and I were out the other day and I was throwing one of the Arc little, I don't know, 6-foot diving BFS type cranks that they make. These are from Bill Lewis. This is the Micro Crank, the Nat, 1/8 ounce, 1.25 inches long. So these are new to me. Maybe these have been out for a while. I haven't seen them, but talk about just a awesome little like square bill. It's kind of like a flat side / rounded hybrid, but I'm thinking for crappie, bluegill, bass, just going out and throwing this on, you know, 5-pound line, something like that, and having fun. To me, that's what BFS is downsized bass type lures and things that maybe are a little hard to throw on a baitcaster. You know, a little smaller finesse when it gets tough. I'm personally not interested in trying to throw like a 1/80th ounce little tiny jig on BFS. Doesn't interest me at all. I'd rather do it on ultralight. But some of these smaller things, light crankbaits, light balsa baits, BFS has been a lot of fun. So I got that white and blue color, which is oyster. Had to get the Ghost Minnow for the clean, clear water around here. That is one of the best colors. Lucky Craft Ghost Minnow is, oh. So had to get one of those. And then a little bluegill color. That could mimic a bluegill or a perch. Either way, the Nat. Definitely going to be throwing this soon because they're going to be chewing on little bait fish. Or, heck, even if you're in those spots where you see a ton of little bait fish and that's what they're focused on, they don't want the larger stuff, don't have to be BFS. Throw your ultralight spinning rod with some of this stuff. Match the hatch. A lot of guys will still throw in like an inline spinner, some of those little tiny flukes and stuff. Just because it's small doesn't mean you're only going to catch small fish. Now, if you're me, that's probably all it's going to catch. But for a lot of you out there that catch big fish, I'm sure you can do it. So that's it, fishing friends. Comment below and let me know out of all these, which one was your favorite. I know I've got a couple that I really think are going to produce, but I want to hear from all of you. That's what fishing is all about. There's so much BS in the fishing industry now, warring and, you know, fighting over this stuff, bass rules, you know, tournament rules and all this bull crap. I want to go out and have fun because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, it's not worth it. So shout out today's subscribe fishing friend. Well, I don't have one, so I'm going Gabe. 10 Horse Monty. If you haven't followed his YouTube channel, he does YouTube, has great lives with pros, does a whole bunch of stuff out there. Super nice guy. He's just down south of me in Missouri. I think he's still there anyway, but good guy. Go check him out. Otherwise, I got to edit. It's late. Love y'all. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Yeah, those glasses don't look bad. I mean, they're not going to make me more handsome. I'm a pretty ugly guy, but...